If you'd like to discover the principles of feminine polarity to make a man crave you and desire you like he desires the very oxygen that he breathes, then we're going to be looking at some powerful clips from around the internet that'll show you insights into the male brain, how men work, what they want, so that you can actually have the relationship you desire with the man you want very soon. I'm Brody Boyd, if you don't know me already, and for over 20 years combined with my wife Antia, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get the relationships they want. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
A lot of times when women do give men the whole nurturing, femininity, this and that, it gets taken advantage of. They get cheated on. They think the man, a lot of men at that point be like, okay, this bitch isn't loving me. Like, I can do whatever I want to do. And then they take advantage of her being so vulnerable and being there all the time, being available for whatever you need. And then they go dip off with the girl that don't need him. So it's like, is it perceived as weakness or is it taken for weakness by men a lot of the time? So women feel like, okay, we need to switch how we're approaching y'all. Because clearly, when I'm everything and more for you, you take advantage of it. You want to go dip off with a girl that's giving you nothing but sex.
Unfortunately, this is often the case because what this woman is describing here is giving to a man from masculine energy. Anytime you are giving to a man, providing for him, being his mother, taking care of him, anticipating his needs, doing whatever you can to try to make him happy, that is you giving to and providing for him, which is actually the masculine energy and the masculine role in a relationship. So you have to catch yourself and stop yourself from giving, trying to make him happy because you're putting him into the feminine energy and you're not allowing him to be able to have the inspiration to step up and to do those things for you, which will ultimately destroy the polarity and attraction and often sadly will lead to these situations where the man simply doesn't value her, doesn't respect her, he doesn't have that sense of devotion, care, and desire to be her hero and ends up leaving often for a woman who doesn't do those things.
Stop trying to read men. Do yourself a favor. You can definitely read yourself. So now let's do a little self-reading here. Why would you continually allow a person to treat you any kind of way in hopes that they'll one day treat you the right way?
There's a couple things in here. The first piece is about reading a man. Reading a man often goes into trying to anticipate his needs, trying to anticipate his feelings, his desires, to second guess yourself often in wondering what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you can be doing differently in the relationship, which ultimately your role in the relationship really only needs to be expressing your feelings, expressing your desires, letting him come to you and letting him read your needs. Now, the second piece is about standards. And ultimately, if a man isn't consistently showing care for your heart and meeting your needs, you have to have those high standards where you are ultimately willing to be the queen and walk away. Walk away from a bad situation and be willing to move on without continually to hope and pray and just keep hanging on for this possibility that he may change.
The best thing a man can ask you on a date is, what do you bring to the table? Because two things straight away. If you want a masculine man and his masculine energy, he is not one. He has told you straight away that relationship cannot happen. Finished. Done. But the second thing is, that man is so deep in his feminine energy that you could probably sit down, have a date with him and learn from him how to be in it. Because even the concept of sitting down and thinking, what can this person do for me and what do they bring to the table, is so in his receiving energy. The fact that he's even sitting there and having the audacity to say that is so deeply, like, I mean, I'm not even sure me and you can get that feminine, is so deeply in there that we got a lot to learn from this guy.
What she is describing here is a truly broken man. This is a man who has lost all connection to his masculinity, usually because of emotional damage, mental damage, or he may be something like a narcissist or a sociopath as well, which there is a certain percentage of the population of men, around 5%, 10% sometimes, that are completely unable of showing their care for your heart. And he's not able to be in his masculine and actually lead and provide for you. So that's often why a man will be in his feminine and why he will be looking for a woman to provide for him, as him being the Peter Pan, to look for a sugar mama of sorts. And so if you ever hear that saying for a man, definitely run away. However, when you are in your feminine energy, when you are truly in your magnetic feminine, you will attract way less of these types of men. And when a man does approach you, who is a man like this, he will be instantly either shifting into his masculine or shifting away from you, because you are not accepting anything close to that level of a dynamic in your relationship, because you're the queen. You deserve to be cared for. You deserve to be desired and devoted to, and nothing less than that will work for you.
Just remember, a person that values you they would never put themselves in a situation to lose you.
It's so true. You need to watch your man's behavior and see if he's so willing to step away from you, so willing to risk losing you because of his inability to listen to your feelings, to ask questions, to engage with you through text, through calls, through taking action to show his care for you, then you need to shift immediately into your deepest feminine energy that you can go into, or you have to be willing to walk away because, again, this could be a highly damaged man that is incapable of showing that care for you. But the principles that we teach you, the principles that you will learn, will help you to have this man showing that care and never wanting to possibly risk losing you to another man because he starts to devote himself to you and see the value that you present in his life at such a deep level that he would never risk that.
There's a test that will tell you how long a relationship will last. I cook my partner a romantic dinner, but I make it taste bad on purpose. The way I do it is I just make normal spaghetti and then put some Diet Coke in it. It's enough to make it taste objectively bad, but not enough to be obvious. If they pretend it's good and try to finish it, the relationship is doomed. Because it means they're too afraid of confrontation to communicate with me. If they say it's bad, but they're mean, oh, that's disgusting. That means they don't care about my feelings at all, and I should dump them. But if they tell me the truth in a way that's mindful of my feelings, it's not my thing. Thank you so much for the effort. That's a relationship that could last forever.
I want to show you this video because, of course, it's satire, but the idea in here beautifully presents this concept that we teach around becoming the queen, where the queen, we have two opposites of the queen, which on one side is the doormat, and that's the woman who doesn't say anything, who doesn't speak up, who says everything is fine, she doesn't share her feelings. This would be like the example he said of the partner just eating the spaghetti, right? Even though it tastes horrible, doesn't want to say anything, oh, it's delicious, or says nothing. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have what we often call the bitch, the technical term, which is a woman who would insult him. She would be really mean to him. She would take control, take charge, go into her masculine in the relationship. But then in the golden middle we have, which is the one he described at the end, is a woman who shares her feelings, who speaks up, but does so in a graceful, feminine, respectful way. So again, of course it's a crazy video, of course it's satirical. However, there's some very valuable nuggets in there about how to get into this golden middle where you actually are drawing him to you rather than pushing him away or making him disrespect you.
Avoiding the argument because it's not worth the fight is kind of like using an emotional credit card, right? So those feelings or those needs or that thing in you that's not being seen, you'll just kind of push off for another time. Or you'll dress it up in a nice way. You'll be like, I can just be content. I can just let it go. I can just relax, and you'd push it off. But over years, that debt starts to accumulate. And it feels like, I don't know, loneliness, emotional distance, anger. We can feel resentful of the other person for not listening to us all those years. But the reality is there was times that we bit our tongue. There was times that we traded feeling heard for feeling safe.
Where in your relationships are you not speaking up? Are you not sharing your feelings? This is one of the aspects, the most important aspects really of becoming the queen and not being the doormat that we just talked about earlier, where you are able to speak up and share your feelings and all of the ranges of your femininity, not just the good things, but also the things that are uncomfortable, the sadness, the fear, the pain, the anxiety, sharing those feelings with him in a respectful way that draws him in, not putting those feelings onto him in a way where you're not building up that debt. You're not building up this emotional resentment that you start to feel in the relationship that ends up coming out sideways through passive aggression or through all of a sudden swinging to the opposite end of the spectrum where you become the bitch and you attack him. You do something, you hit him maybe, you could just go to extreme blow up and you end up also hurting the relationship when it could have just been communicated in a healthy way earlier that allowed him to correct his behavior. And if he didn't correct his behavior, that ultimately you have to be willing to walk away again as well so that you're respecting yourself.
Do you know that what is happening to you right now is bad? Maybe you want that job, maybe you want that guy, maybe you want that business. But maybe that thing will completely destroy you. And that's why you're not getting it. And you might feel like, oh, I feel so bad because this is what I wanted, but you're actually being protected. You are gonna get something so much better afterwards, but you don't see that coming right now. So how do you know it's bad? Maybe it's the best thing that could have ever happened to you. Maybe it's the biggest protection that you ever had in your life.
It's so true. If you find yourself being extremely caught on a guy right now, one that you just feel like you have to have him, he's your man, he's the only one that's possible for you, and he's not committing to you, he's not even texting you, he's not reaching out, he's not putting the effort into the relationship, you have to really question and see that maybe God's rejection is actually God's protection, and that him not allowing this relationship to happen, or the man not connecting in that way, is actually saving you from getting into a bad situation where you continue to put yourself second, that you continue to let yourself be walked on like the doormat. You allow yourself to be clinging on to this hope in a situation that will never lead anywhere that you actually want to be long term. So you have to really have this evaluation ability to see, are you just clinging on to hope, or are you actually in a situation that's leading towards, that's progressing towards having a healthy, loving, long-term committed relationship that you actually desire?
Most important thing in a relationship, if you want it to go the distance, is being kind and actually staying interested in the other person's experience and point of view. Like the challenge of being in a relationship that long is you think you know somebody.
Yeah.
And
So true.
the fact is, I don't care how great your relationship is or how bad it is or whatever, but how great it is in particular. There are parts of the person you're with that you don't know because even they don't know that.
A great way to discover more about who your man really is through your vulnerability. By sharing the things that you're uncomfortable of sharing with him, the things about yourself that you haven't revealed to him, fears, anxieties, insecurities, other pains that you have, pains you've experienced in the past with him or from your childhood, from other relationships. How a man handles your feelings and how a man handles your vulnerability is the truest aspect of a man, the way that you will get to see his true devotion to you and his true care. And it's the best test. You know, some women feel like they need to pull away from a man. They need to close up and withdraw and see how he reacts to that. That's the test, right? But actually, the real test is how he responds to your vulnerability, how he responds to your openness. You'll discover a lot more from him and who he actually is from that than anything else that you might do.
Hey, you want to join me in the bedroom? Okay. Hey, I made you some tea. Oh, thank you. I'm going to take the kids to the playground for a few hours, so you can relax in your own home occasionally. That sounds nice. But if I know you, you won't actually be able to relax because you'll feel guilty if you're not cleaning or doing chores during your free time. Dang it, you're right. So that's why I already did them. The dishes are done, the sink is clean, the countertops are wiped, clutter's picked up, floors are swept, laundry's already folded, so you better not be doing any chores while I'm gone, young lady. I love it when you tell me not to do things. Oh yeah, and don't forget, I got a babysitter for later. I'm taking you out to that new Thai place, just the two of us. That's not the name. The name is something, I couldn't pronounce it. It was in Thai. That's so hot. Yeah, the food can be pretty spicy. Are you talking about the food? All of it. Mama's hungry. Oh, okay. Well, I got the kids in the car, but I'll see you in a bit there, hot stuff.
So this is a great example of what it looks like when a man is actually devoting himself to you. Because again, like I said earlier, the masculine gives, the feminine receives. When a man is actually being the provider and being the masculine in the relationship, he is wanting to do things for you. He's wanting to take care of you. He's wanting to get things around the house handled. Even if he's not physically doing it himself, he may not like the grocery shopping, the cleaning around the house. I don't personally. However, he can hire people that can help. He can find solutions. He's capable of finding creative ways to meet your needs and to make you happy because he is wanting to give. He's getting his sense of happiness from seeing that you're happy. That old saying, happy wife, happy life, there's a lot of truth to that because that's the way that men get their feelings of happiness, which is different than how women get their feelings of happiness. You get your feelings of happiness by him devoting himself to you and adoring you and cherishing you, and he gets his sense of happiness by feeling a purpose and a meaning and knowing that he can provide value and that he's needed and that he can make his woman and the people around him in his life truly happy and fulfilled.
His Instagram following list, none of your business. Videos he watches on TikTok, none of your business. Him checking out another beautiful woman walk into the restaurant, none of your business. Him liking another girl's Instagram photo, none of your business. The relationship with his ex-girlfriend, none of your business. The pick-me girl that secretly wants him, none of your business. His past sex life, none of your business. His female friends, none of your business.
So the idea here is that being in your feminine is about bringing the energy back to yourself. Not trying to control him, not trying to manipulate him, not trying to watch every move that he's making and see who's interested in him and which women are trying to steal him away. It's about being the queen, bringing the energy back to you, listening to your heart, to your feelings, to your sense of self-value and self-worth, and letting him take care of you and coming to you. Because if you're so busy trying to manage him and trying to navigate those situations around him, you're actually in your masculine. You're trying to lead and control the relationship. You're trying to manipulate him often by looking into those things and trying to see. Now, if you do notice those things, or if you're feeling unhappy in the relationship, you of course need to speak up about those things. You need to share your feelings about that with him using feminine communication in the way we teach. And if he's not showing care after that point, you have to be willing to, again, walk away and value yourself and know that you're going to attract a man who will treat you in those ways, who's not going to be doing those things with Instagram, with liking other women's posts, the things that she mentioned. You're going to have that coming to you. You're attracting it to you, being the magnet rather than being the moths chasing the flame, right? Be the flame, not the moths. If you're tired of a man pulling away, you want to draw the energy back to you and have him chase, crave, pursue, desire you, then you're going to need to use magnetic feminine polarity, magnetic feminine communication, which you can get right now by clicking the link in the description below this video or in the comments, or going to magnetizeyourman.com to pick up that free quiz we have for you that's going to help you to master these principles, have him being the man you've always wanted him to be, and having the relationship you've always desired, being cherished like the queen. So much love. Hope this was helpful. I look forward to talking to you again very soon.